I have determined that this will be the last video of Duel of Ages Set 1 World Spanner. Well, actually, I have this habit of saying Set 1 World Spanner whenever I say Duel of Ages. I actually have all the sets now, including this web set that a bass fisherman sent to me. But I like the long name. I like to say Set 1 World Spanner, and so I keep doing that. Or maybe that's just a vestige of once just having the first set and no other sets. But anyway, this will be the last video of Duel of Ages. Set all of them. And the reason why is because this is going to be the last day that I have this room, and so I'm going to have to take the game down and move everything down. I'm going to have to disassemble this table and reassemble it downstairs because it won't go down the stairs without being disassembled. I don't think. I could try it. I think I had to disassemble it to move it upstairs, so it makes sense that I'd have to disassemble it to move it downstairs. So anyway, the game is going to end with sort of a time limit. I have today to finish it and also get everything downstairs, so I have a limited amount of time, but I think it's okay. I think it's about ready to be done. Seems like Red Tomato has a pretty firm lead. That would be really exciting if Mooney could come back and pull it off, or at least pull something off. So since there's a time limit, I shouldn't be talking so much. I should be playing now and give everyone a fair shake. We're at the start of turn 16. So we're beginning the turn here with Thotis, the pulsating brain, under the Puma, and this sort of speaks to the general conundrum Mooney has right now. Okay, Mooney needs to score and fast. However, if he loses any characters and doesn't take out any of Red Tomatoes in kind, he is going to lose another point. So he needs to try to gain 2 points and also not lose any more points at the same time. This is very difficult. So back to the more specific issue of Thotis and the Puma. I looked up, incidentally, this Wave Rider here. It's not going to disappear because Thump is imprisoned. He's still not dead. So the Wave Rider is basically can't really do anything. It might be able to block someone's path. They might have to stop if they run into him, but it can't hurt anybody. Can be hurt, but otherwise it's just sort of going to roam without a target unless Thump somehow gets freed, which is doubtful given that Jerry Gillis is here with currently 10 cards. So Thotis is here. Thotis would like to get away from the cheetah, right? If he goes this way, he's going to have to contend with Boolean. And if he goes this way too far, he's going to have to deal with Dingo Jake and whatever weapon. Oh yeah, the barb tongue, which is well known to exist up there. So he doesn't have a lot of choices. He has to basically try to escape northward, but not too far northward, and hope that his friends can pick off the Puma if the Puma gives chase. Just engaged in a bit of light bathroom reading, and what I discovered was that this character point is currently owned in Red Tomato's domain. Thump being imprisoned does not count as a character on Mooney's team. It's really sad. So now it's 5-2. With that in mind, Mooney took a gamble. He sent Ghana right here after Dingo Jake. Dingo Jake's going to get some opportunity fire. He also sent Ryan right after Boolean, which is actually not a bad move. Ryan's got this hefty warhammer here. And Boolean, the only thing he has to help protect himself is a Helm of Polonius and a terrible react rating. And Ghana just barely managed to tough out the barb tongue hit. It didn't penetrate his or her armor. I think it's a her. Yeah, it didn't penetrate her armor by 1. If it had been 1 more, it would have done 3 damage because it's poison. So Ghana gets to take on Dingo Jake's stats for this fight, and I think she will want to do that. The only downside is she would lose out on some armor, but otherwise she's pretty good. So it's going to be blue against... Or no, green. I gotta just look at this card. Green against green. For those of you who don't know, Ghana is a mimic, and so if she's in the same space as someone else, she takes on their stats, but she doesn't get their special abilities. And she gets to keep her health, which is nice. She has the health advantage on Dingo Jake. So if this battle lasts a long enough time, Mooney will have the advantage here. Green against green, that's a miss. And then Dingo Jake is going to return attack green against green, and that's another miss. Ryan is facing Boolean, blue against blue, and that's a hit. That's not very good for Boolean. That's going to be yellow to penetrate against blue. And that's a penetration. So that's going to be taking 3 off of Boolean. Boolean gets a little bit of a counter strike here, and that's a miss. So Mooney is seeing that this aggressive, even more aggressive than he was, outlook or posture that he's been taking on has been helping, has been doing well. He's almost taken out a character here, which is what he wants to do at this point in the game. Interestingly, he lucked out and got the war. He needed a 4 or better. He rolled a 3, and so Iron Pole pulled it off for him. War will help with the aggressive posture, because if he does gets a significant hit on someone, it's going to hurt everyone else on Red Tomato's team who is nearby. And Iron Pole ended up right back here, which in first thought was not a nice place to be, because the chances of him winning one of these challenges is not good. But on second thought, it might not be so bad, given that the game is about to end. He can come down here and easily take one of these 2 card things. He does have 2 cards, not that he would necessarily want to get rid of them, but if the game's about to end, he might as well get rid of them. And what he could do is take away that point. And because of that roll, that lucky roll by the Iron Pole, who really, it was not part of Mooney's strategy to even be in the Galactic Council Adventure Key, Mooney has a chance of tying up the game, which gives him a chance of winning. And here's how that could work. So Iron Pole can come back and do the council again. All right, if he does it again, that's going to put it at a tie. He can do that very easily. There's no chance involved. The only chance that would be involved, the only thing that could stop him is if Red Tomato does something and doesn't have any characters particularly near or with any particular capabilities to stop the Iron Pole at this point. So if the council gets to be a tie and Mooney continues his aggressiveness and is able to take the character point, right, that's going to put it at 3-3, which is a tie game. I'm going to have to go, I don't know, depending on time, I would either have to go into, if I have time, I'll do the sudden death rules, which means they keep playing turns until someone has a higher score. More likely, though, if it ends in a tie, these 2 are going to have to play again. Maybe Duel of Ages, because it's been so much fun. But I would change the rules a little bit. I wouldn't make them use the keys. But we'll talk about that if that happens. I just want to let you know that there is a way that Mooney can take this, and it's not so far-fetched that it would happen. Okay, Red Tomato just had his movement phase. One thing he did was he moved Milena Arabato to the jump pad. He was hoping, he charged her with being the one to block off Iron Pole. She wouldn't have been able to make it here in time with the card she has to try to stop him. So he took a risk with the jump pad, and I think he enjoys the jump pad. And she ended up going almost exactly where Minx and Jinx went when they hit the jump pad. Because they're up here by the Colonial Labyrinth, that's a way for Red Tomato to actually come back. If he can get either of them, depending on what this challenge is, to get the black piece ahead, he could take away a good chunk of Mooney's hope. So Rizik the Red is going to try and hit the Puma now. The Puma, because of where he was placed, the Puma had to go the direct route. It would have been nice if the Puma had been able to travel through the buildings and come around that way, but he wouldn't have been able to reach his target this turn, and would really like to get rid of Thotis if possible. So a lot is going to hinge on this one roll. It's going to be green against the Puma's green. And that's going to be a hit. The damage is green against the Puma's blue. And like the cheetah before him, only this time I think it was justified. It was fair. The Puma is done. because he's kind of a jerk, Rizik the Red is also going to shoot at the Wave Maker. Again, the Wave Maker can't hurt anybody. He's just trying to get to this water, but Rizik the Red is going to shoot him anyway. Rather, Mooney is green against blue. He hits. Damage is green against blue. And that is going to do full damage to the Wave Maker. Wave Maker has some health left though, so he might just make it to the water before it's too late. Final piece of opportunity fire, and this could be big, is Boolean in this space right here, running away from Ryan. Ryan is going to reveal a gun. Not that, he's going to reveal this. Colt Peacemaker. And he's got a +2 to hit with this. So his normally poor point is going to be considered yellow for this shot, which is rather good. So we're going to have yellow against Boolean's green stealth. 8 or better. Boolean has a chance here. If he gets damaged at all, he's gone. And that's a hit. So penetration is green on blue, 8 or better. And Boolean has left the building. Other movements on Red Tomato's turn. He sent Sergeant Grit up towards the jump pad. He also got Dingo Jake away from Ghana there. And other than that, he has his two kind of carrier people sitting right here. And I have to say, a rather interesting card came up during his special vault swap thing. Countess de Grebsky also got involved. She put some cards in the vault so that she was able to get her 2 free cards from politics. But something, if Red Tomato gets another turn, which I think we do have time for, something pretty amazing is going to happen. Whew. So Mooney is going to be rolling the dice quite a bit. First thing he's going to do is he's going to use this Prowess Cube. He had hoped to get this in the hands of one of his stronger characters, Thump or the Iron Pole, but it's looking like that's going to be difficult with Thump in prison. Iron Pole over here. And Ghana, the owner of the Prowess Cube, kind of in a really bad spot. Dingo Jake got away, and now Ghana, if Ghana moves at all, he's going to get opportunity fire. She's going to get opportunity fire from everyone around her. So the Prowess Cube works a lot like that Cunning Cube, which I used earlier, except it works with strength. Ghana's strength isn't super high. That's why it would have been nice if one of the white strength guys got it. So Rizik the Red's going to get a card. Ghana's going to get a card. Kid will get a card. And so will Thotis. So that's 4 cards he's going to pick up. Jerry Gillis will also get a card. Equal or greater, yeah. Milena will get a card. Dingo Jake will get a card. Sergeant Grit will get a card. And that's... and Boudica will get a card. Okay, risk number 2. Ghana is heading to this tunnel here. I already did it, but there's going to be... 3 sets of opportunity fire possible. So we'll see how he does with all of them. First one will be Sergeant Grit is going to shoot at him with his powder rifle. Not super good odds. You got yellow minus 1, 2, 3. Yellow minus 3, which would make it akin to red against Ghana's. I gotta look at Dingo Jake. Ghana's yellow. Red against yellow. Not super good. Alright, that's going to be a miss. Then we're going to have this hedgehog gets to shoot. It gets a -2. And its chances of hitting, what does it use to hit? Okay, it's got blue -2, which is not super good. Blue -2 is purple. And blue blue 5. Needs a 3 or better. Got a 4, almost hit, but it did not hit. And then finally, Dingo Jake gets a -2 to hit. No, he gets a -0 because of his swamp abilities. And he is using his barbed tongue again. Unless he got barbed tongue, and that's going to be green against yellow. And again, miss. So Ghana dodged all of them, went in the tunnel, and is sitting right now underneath Dingo Jake. Ghana is not like the Iron Pole. She can't pop back up, but she's right near this tunnel entrance. So Dingo Jake is probably going to want to move. Third risk, I'm sorry, that Mooney took was finally got Kid out of there. heading for this village here. If Kid can win any challenge there, that is going to bring Mooney another point. Boudica, however, gets to take a shot, and Boudica... Ooh. I think Boudica is going to stick with the Colt Dragoon. So that's going to be red against Kid's yellow. Yeah, not very good chances. Red against yellow. Here we go. We got 4. Got a hit. Green against Kid's red. And unfortunately, Kid does not have any sort of armor. That's a 9 or better to penetrate. And that's a 10. So it's going to be damage -2, which is still going to hurt Kid for 1. Kid is just barely hanging on. Wow. Red Tomato's turn. Free action phase. Now we're going to do that amazing thing I was talking about. Jerry Gillis got some cards from the thing here, and so did Darija Dugrebsky. One of the things he got was this aesthetic cube, which he's going to use right now. Free action. If used, owner must give all his cards except badges to allies of his choice. The allies do not need to be in the same space, but must be on the map. The owner is allowed to use this card even if he is not normally allowed to trade cards. So Jerry Gillis normally isn't allowed to trade cards, and has thus just been accumulating a bunch of cards here. We can make a count, but he's going to have to give all these cards away, which is not so bad because the limiting factor for him is that the cards aren't that useful in his hands. 15 cards I have to distribute on behalf of Red Tomato to the rest of Jerry Gillis's team. Red Tomato is having what from Mooney's perspective can only be described as an unfortunate bout of good luck. First, he had that card which allowed him to really fill up his people with cards. One of which is this eggshell field generator, which is going to make Ghana's charge not as effective because it's going to protect him from the next damage he receives. But he also, the jump pad just paid off for him. He had Sergeant Grit come here, jumped 4 spaces up there and got him right down there. That is close enough to the iron pole to get a good shot at him if the iron pole tries to enter here. Also, Boudica got a Centauri Dragonette, which he caused to go after Kid here. So now there's going to be this little melee thing. If Kid can get past both of them, he can try to challenge the village. And then if he does that, he'll score another point. So things are not looking quite so hot for Mooney. They were never looking that great, but it's looking like it's going to be even more difficult for him to succeed at this point. So let's do some opportunity fire, and then we will continue. Here's where the Wave Maker wanted to go. Rizik is going to shoot at him with his Navy pistol. Oh no, he's not. Thotis is going to shoot at him with his Brain pistol. I don't even know if it'll work on Wave Maker. I'm assuming this is going to be his intelligence. It's not on there. So we'll do white against blue. White against blue. Oh, 12. You know, whenever Thotis has got a shot with his brain power, he's gotten incredibly unlucky. This should have been very easy for him to take the Wave Maker. Not that I'm upset about that. I think it's good. I think it's for the best that the Wave Maker gets to be in the water. And now the big melee brawl against Kid. Kid who's just been scraping by through a good chunk of this game. Let's let Kid go last. How about we do that? Boudica, is he going to reveal any weapons? Nope, she is going to use her natural penetration yellow against blue for the hit. And that's a 6. That's a hit. Green against red. 11. I don't think that's going to do it. No, needed a 9 or better. Wow. Kid is just barely scraping by. Now the Centauri Dragonette. Yellow against green. No, yellow against blue. And that is a hit. The damage is going to be yellow against red. And that is an amaze. So that is going to be the end of Kid because 1 is all he has left, and it does too. Let's see if Kid manages to do anything in return, and then I want to show you something that was kind of sad. Green against yellow. 6, that's a hit. Damage is going to be red against red. And that got a final hit on Boudica. That's not bad. So here's the sad thing I want to show you. I was excited when Kid got his card from that strength cube, that this was the card he got, Excalibur. You know, and at that time, he was right here. He could have charged in with Excalibur. Boudica might have not attacked in return and gotten her vengeance power in play, but would have probably been able to take her out, and that would have been a pretty nice story in a way. But instead, he just was not strong enough to use it, and so Excalibur is going to drop clunk on the ground here, and Kid is out of the game. Alright, we're going to have to end this. I need to go back to work, and it looks very doubtful that Red Tomato can pull it off. There was some exciting things that were going to happen, though. Some exciting things that things could have turned on. Let me just think a second. Let's look at the possibilities now. Okay, so Iron Pole could still make it here. That would give Mooney a point. So look at the council. Blam. That would have been 3 to 4. All right, then where else could he score? I guess he could eventually take out. Maybe we need to do one more turn. Okay, I think I have to call it by time. I went through some scenarios that could maybe have allowed Mooney to have the victory, but the fact of the matter is I am out of time, and you know, it just doesn't seem like there was the probability of him tying it was just pretty small. He would have needed Iron Pole to get to the Galactic Council, which would have worked, right? But it just would have put it at a tie, so 4 to 2, and then he would have had to get the character advantage. He had several people kind of closing in on Dingo Jake. Dingo Jake would have been able to hold off at least one more turn. So then we would have had to go yet another turn. Another thing he had going was he had Ryan going on this this kind of long shot mission into the black team base. If he had gotten in there, he could have gotten the character point by defeating the Countess and Jerry Gillis, which might have been tough since the Countess had some nice cards at that point. But he would have had to do that and then also free Thump. There was just too many difficult things, and that would have taken another turn again to get there. So just the time constraints and the difficultness of his task made me think that it's probably better to just end it right now. So what happened? Couple things. I was planning on doing a 3-platter game with the 7 characters. That would have made for a lot more conflict, which seemed more what Mooney was gearing towards. The expanse of it made it so that Red Tomato's kind of more going off and scoring, actually scoring, helped a lot. But you also saw, I think, that the game isn't so much about the fight. The fight is important, but it's more about the control, because Mooney was getting all the early hits on Red Tomato, but none of them really paid off to the extent that, you know, Red Tomato, who was focusing on the adventuring more, is the one who ended up with the points, and it was just by the time Mooney kind of came around to that, it was too late. Lots of fun though. I was really kind of hoping for a tie so that I could play another game between these two, but I'll just have to do that on my free time sometime. Looks like, you know, I'm just kind of glancing at the characters right now. You know, with the Red Tomato had some definite overall character advantages. I think he had faster characters overall. He had the henchman, which helped. That could have played against him if Mooney had been able to take the Countess out, but it was just too difficult to do. He had faster characters, and then he had Jerry Gillis with that card explosion at the end. If that hadn't happened, I think I would have tried to play another turn to see what happened. But you know, all of his guys were just tricked out with great weapons and cards and things, and it just would have been maybe a little depressing. I don't know. if Red Tomato had gotten a different card to Kid rather than Excalibur, something he could have actually used in his struggle, he could have had a great chance. The game, his hopes kind of died, I think, when Kid did. If Kid had been able to hit the village, that would have put him up another point, and then he could have tied it up pretty easily. Not easily, but he would have had a good chance of tying it up either through the characters or through the council. Probably more likely the council, and then it would have been a game. But I really enjoyed this.